Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Live to Roll Show. I'm your host for the day, Brianna Wheeler, and I'm super excited to be here. I know I always say that, but we have some real badasses today, so I'm super excited to dig deeper into their journey and just hear more about why they fell in love with sports. So we're introductions first, and then we're going to dive into some deeper questions. So if you guys do not know me, my name is Brianna Wheeler. I was injured about 6 years ago due to gun violence, and I am a T12 paraplegic. Let's go to Candy.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Candy Dungan, and I was injured while downhill skateboarding in 2018.
Okay. And let's go to Karah.
Hey guys, my name is Karah Barrand, and I was not actually injured per se. I got sick when I was in the Air Force. During surgery, they caused a neurological disorder that progressively paralyzed me.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that?
That was in 2015. I was first diagnosed, and then 2018 was when I last walked.
Okay. And let's go to Casey.
Hi, I'm Casey Gemma, and I had a mountain bike injury in 2021. I'm a T8 paraplegic.
Oh, wow. We are pretty newly injured to this whole life, right? It feels like
Yeah.
we've been injured forever already. But when I talk to other people that are like 20, 19 years injured, I'm just like, oh my goodness, still so much time to go. I always feel Okay, great. So we're gonna get into some sports, some different information. So let's start with, what did you do for fun before your injury? So were you always into these type of activities? How was that? What would you do inside of your free time? So let's go to Casey.
Before my injury, I was into downhill mountain biking, normal mountain biking, paddleboarding, yoga, anything outdoorsy, really, I really loved.
Oh, wow. And was that your whole life?
Yeah, my family was really active when I was younger, and yeah, I carried on that through uni, and then since then, yeah, I've always been quite active and loving the outdoors.
Yeah, and we're gonna dig deeper to our next question afterwards, just talking about how you felt once you got injured. So just make sure that you're thinking about that. For our audience, feel free to drop some questions inside of the chat for us. You know how we kind of work here, so I'll go through, and even if we move on to another topic, feel free to ask your questions. We'll go back throughout the chat and kind of just review that. If you want to say hey, whatever you want to say, feel free to say it there. We love your comments. We love your support so much. Let's go to Candy. So, Candy, were you adventurous before your injury? What would you do for fun?
Yeah, definitely. Downhill skateboarding was like my whole life. I was traveling and competing for it around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was snowboarding, and before that, I was figure skating. So I've just always been doing something really active and that pushed my body maybe to the next level, see what I could do.
I love that. That's so beautiful. And what about you, Kara?
Heck yeah. So I really fell in love with rugby after getting sick. Before that, it was just about anything to get me active.
Mm-hmm.
Cheerleaded, field hockey, you name it, I was into it. I will try anything at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that attitude. Okay, so going a little bit deeper, originally when you were first diagnosed or when you were injured, how did that make you feel thinking about your now new limitations and what you were able to do or no longer could do? Kind of in just those beginning months, were you already like thinking, how am I going to get out there? Or did you think it wasn't possible anymore? Or kind of where was your headspace in those beginning months? Let's start with Candy.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a roller coaster. At first, I was super gun ho. I was in the hospital already designing the first adaptive street luge and planning this is how I'm going to get back on the road. And my doctors are all like, please wait a year. But when I got home, reality really set in, and I did end up really waiting a year before I got super into it. And just every year it's grown since then.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So do you remember ever being like angry towards your disability, or were you just kind of thinking about, going out there and getting wild again? Were you thinking about getting hurt or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a roller coaster. There was definitely times I was angry about my disability. There was definitely times that I felt like I had to get over a fear for sure. Like, I remember when I first started getting on my luge, I would have to pee after like every run because I was just so scared. And so, like, now it's no big thing, but it definitely took me a while to get over my fear.
And like, how long would you say that it took you? Did it have to do a lot with the people around you pushing you, or was it like a really personal mindset?
I think it just took more time under my belt, getting used to my new luge, getting on the road again and having a lot of positive experiences to make up for that bad experience that I had. And not pushing myself too hard, because I don't want to have a bad experience and I don't want to hurt myself or scare myself away. So I just take it at my own speed, and my goal is
Hmm. I love that. Okay, what about you, Karah? Originally, when you got diagnosed, how did you feel about doing sports again? Did you feel angry about your disability, or did you feel like something was being taken from you in any way?
So I mean, I guess it's a little bit different for me because you guys all kind of lost everything all at once, and I progressively lost things over a good amount of time. So it was, I woke up every day with a new thing that I couldn't do anymore. I'm still losing function now. Like I used to be able to figure out how to open cans, and now I'm like struggling on that again. So, you know, um, those beginning months really taught me to just kind of like start working and working and working and figure out whatever I wanted to do and make it happen and just kind of keep going. And I think being an athlete and having that bounce back mentality is something that we all probably have in common. And that's why we've been able to get through that first initial 6 traumatic months.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it because I feel like, of course, there's that initial shock, but then you're kind of like that fighter in you, that champion in you, wants to go out and compete again, and you kind of love that fire, that adrenaline rush, and kind of get a thrill off of it. So it just takes a little bit if you're somebody listening, those beginning humps, of course, but it is a mindset game, and I love the thought of pushing yourself into those uncomfortable situations and seeing what's possible. If you can't do it, you can't do it, but you can't say you can't if you never try. Okay, so Casey, how was that for you? So you said that you grew up very athletic as well. So all of a sudden, when you got your injury and you got your injury doing sports too, how did you feel about
I was really down, to be honest. It was during COVID for me as well. So I had my accident and then I was in isolation for 2 weeks. So I pretty much had to be on my own and I just didn't deal with it very well. My whole life was biking. My friends were bikers, my partner's a mountain biker. So I just felt like everything had been taken away from me. I didn't want to see bikes, I didn't want to be around it. And that lasted for probably a few weeks. And then I went the opposite way and I just started researching how to get on a bike, how I could do yoga, how I could get back in the sea. And yeah, I came out of hospital and like the next month I competed in my first adapted downhill race. So got straight back onto
Oh,
it then.
wow. Wow, that's pretty soon afterwards. Yeah, I love that. And do you feel like it was people around you as well? Like, were your friends very supportive in that instant?
Yeah, absolutely. And my friends, my partner, my family, the whole mountain bike community and yoga community were so amazing that I couldn't really be angry at the sport anymore.
Oh, I love that so much. That's beautiful. So, what was the first sport that you tried after your injury, and explain the experience? So, you guys were all living your lives doing these sports a certain way, really becoming experts in them and really feeling comfortable. So, how was that when you tried your first sport and you felt those limitations? I mean, were you frustrated? Did you feel what was going on in your heart and your mind in those moments? So, let's start with Kara.
Um, So my first adaptive sport that I really got into was wheelchair rugby. And I just loved being the girl that would come out there and like literally scare the boys. Like they would have to put 3 players on me to hold me there and they like you could tell they were so frustrated because they were getting beat up by a girl. And I love that and there's something so empowering for me for that and oh Sorry, it's super laggy.
No, you're okay. We can still hear you. I think the video is just a little laggy, but I think our audio's doing okay. Let us know, chat, if our audio is breaking up. I think our video is just slightly little lagged, but bear with us. Okay, so after that, Karah, do you remember? So you say that you decline over time. So afterwards, you were really comfortable. You were that girl. And then, was there any moment where you felt like more limited, or you felt like you questioned your abilities to do these sports?
Not really. Not until I got into racing at a like professional, semi-professional level. That's when I really kind of felt the overlaying, like not even fixable kind of things. So, like in some of the classes, the automatic transmission cars versus the manual transmission cars, you're down so much power that you really can't even make it up. And
Mhm,
just learning to kind of get through that and still not be last and just keep working your way up until you're finally like figuring out how to take a slow thing and make it fast for you, right?
mhm,
And that I think was really the only time where I felt just like actually disabled was because I
mhm,
couldn't just use that one extra pedal like everybody else.
mhm, mhm.
So
Yeah. And do you feel like that? Did you have the question of quitting, or did you just think, how can I adapt this? Like,
how
where
can I
was your,
adapt this?
I love it. And you did it. Okay, let's go to Candy. So, how was that your first time going back into sports, actually doing it and realizing like that it wasn't the same thing as before? You may had to do things differently, or you know what, you might have not have the head start that other sport people have, doing the same things that you, they might be able to do things quicker and easier than you can. And with that comes a bit of frustration. So did you ever experience that, or how was that with you?
Totally. One of the biggest things is in downhill skateboarding, like throwing a drift is really a part of what you're doing. And it helps get around corners faster to keep speed and stick up with everybody, as well as just like it's a cool swag factor. And so at first I was like, I can't really drift this. Like I'm just going down the hill and I can't make these certain corners. And like, so I'm falling behind everybody else. And it was a little discouraging where I did like slow down and stop skating it for a while. And then I decided I need it. So I went back and it turns out I can drift it. And I learned how to. And I keep getting faster and I keep doing better. And I'm sure that eventually I'm going to be right in the pack with, the fast people. Right now I'm in the pack with like the normal squad. So that's a lot of fun. And then like I want to get in the pack again with like those top dogs where I was before.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Eventually, you keep working hard and you keep finding those adaptations inside of the sports that you like. And that's what matters. Of course, we're not going to start out where we want to be, but who does? You have to tell yourself that. Nobody starts out there. You have to work your way up to that point. So, what about you, Casey? How was that for you? Of course, it's totally different. You will have this love for biking, and how did you feel afterwards getting back on? You stopped, you pulled yourself away from it, and all of a sudden you want to compete again. Did you feel any point through that, like, were you frustrated at your disability or what you could no longer do inside of your sport?
So I tried cycling was the first sport I tried when I came out, but it was more of a hand cycle rather than a downhill mountain bike. It was more of like a cross country bike. But I just felt absolutely amazing when I tried it because I came out of hospital with the big old wheelchairs that are like 20 kilograms and everything it was really hard to get around. And then all of a sudden I was in this hand cycle and I was following the instructor. We were going so fast and the view was really nice. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, I'm actually going to be all right. Like, I'm going to be able to live again.
Oh, that just touches my heart. I love that moment. Like, it's so beautiful. And I go to the hospitals and meet newly injured girls, and I just like want to tell them, like, hold on for that moment. Like, that moment's coming, and then you're gonna have to go through some pain and some hard days, but like you will love life again. You will see the beautifulness again when you look for it. So I think that that's super powerful. I love it so much. Okay. So let's see. So what other sports have you guys tried to do, and what is your absolute favorite sport that you like to do, and one that you might not like to do as much? Let's dig into both. So let's go to Karah. So what have you tried since your injury, and what would you say your top and your bottom is?
Yeah, I've done, wheelchair rugby, wheelchair basketball, tennis, swimming, archery, like the parachuting, pretty much if it's out there, I've tried it. I really just like to be active. Um, favorite is racing. My least favorite, I don't really have a least favorite. I mean, I never like to run. I don't like long marathon-y things, so I'm not gonna go do a marathon.
Yeah, I bet you.
So, so
I
I
love
guess
it.
running is my least favorite sport.
Okay, what about you, Casey? What would you say that's your favorite sport and your least favorite sport that you've tried? Oh, I love the doggy.
Um,
He's so cute.
I got her when I had my accident, and yeah, she's been the best thing ever. Um,
Oh,
but
I got my little chihuahua after my accident too, and he became my best friend. We just got a French bulldog that has one eye, and he's a little monster. They just are running all around the house.
I love that. Sport-wise, I've tried lots of different sports because I went to a spinal injury tournament, so I got to try all the competitive sports: basketball, tennis, table tennis. I've recently started basketball, which I really love. But I would say that my favourite is mountain biking, downhill mountain biking still, adapted obviously. And then I tried climbing as well, which was really great. My least favourite, I don't know, maybe shooting. We tried shooting, and it was we had to sit still, and I like to be active, so probably that one.
Love it. Okay, what about you, Candy?
Yeah, I also went through a phase where I was just like, archery, kayaking, everything. And I liked pretty much everything. I mean, I think that like for a fun day, all of it I would go do. But I really found myself into hockey, and so I joined the local sled hockey team, and it's been incredible because not only like it takes me back to my roots of like figure skating as a kid, except I'm not like I feel invincible because I'm not going to fall 5 feet after jumping another foot or two. And so and like Karah said earlier, that it's like cool to get on the ice in a co-ed thing, and these guys are going to underestimate me, and I get to put them into the boards, and I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. So, and just the community and everything. Hockey's been awesome. And then I also like dance.
I saw that you recently been getting into it. I think that that's super beautiful. So you started like your guys' own little team, like where you're at.
Oh, the team is huge. They've got 4 different teams sponsored by the local NHL team, the Colorado Avalanches. So we've got ABC and youth. And we just now really have enough women to have our own women team too. So, it's growing, it's changing, we're figuring it out, but it's a really good time, and all the teams hang out together and practice together, and it's, a big family.
I love that so much because, there was a time where there was no dancers, and now to see like that there's so many different groups of sports all over the place, it really does start somebody believing in themselves, and so if you're out there and, there isn't a disabled group for your sport, don't be afraid to start it. Don't be afraid to be the first one because we need it. Unfortunately, there's always going to people be joining this disabled community, and so they're always going to be longing for community and looking for what they were missing out as an able-bodied person. And you get to show them like all the tips and tricks to get through it really simply. It might suck going through it first, but what a beautiful thing to be able to pass that on to other people. It really is something magical, I just want to say. So leaning into if you've ever gotten an injury or do you feel pain? Because my main thing when I'm even like doing dances or anything like that is I feel a tremendous amount of pain, which hesitates me and stops me from doing a lot of stuff that I probably would do more if I was inside of a chair. And I just get so exhausted so easily. So how has that been for you guys in your disabled bodies, like getting tired more quickly, or do you need to do more self-care? How is that like injury with pressure sores and stuff like that? Have you gone through anything regarding that sense of injury? Let's start with Casey.
I'm suffering with really bad spasticity and tone at the moment. So when I am active, so when I'm on my hand cycle, for example, my spasticity gets so much worse. My spasms are worse, which makes my nerve pain worse, and I I do struggle with it. So I have to rest a lot more. And unfortunately, the only thing that makes it better is lying down and resting. So I kind of just push through it, but I would do more if I wasn't in pain.
Okay, so you do feel like your pain does hold you back a bit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I can't go for as long. For example, my legs get really painful the more I do.
And how do you do with that mentally? Like, do you just tell yourself like this is what I have to do, or do you do get have bad days where you get down on yourself for having to give your body rest?
At the start, I did. At the start, I really struggled to find periods of time where I could just rest. I'd feel lazy and I'd really struggle mentally with it. But now I take one day a week where I just rest, and it has helped a lot because my arms aren't so tired and painful. My legs can have a rest on that day. So yeah, I do think it's helped.
Yeah, I think it's so important. It's one of the things that I think is so hard because in the beginning of your injury, you're like, I want independence, I want independence. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, like I'm doing way too much, and you need to like stop and give yourself a break. And I think at first it's really definitely hard, but knowing that your body, that's what your body needs to keep going. And you can actually do more things if you learn how to keep on resting, maybe put your feet up, stretch out your back, do some pressure releases, and just make that extra care to take care of your body. You can get through a lot more. That's what my personal experience with this been. So Karah, do you feel any pain?
Not from basically like nipple down. Um, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that here. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
we see everything on here.
but yeah.
My
In the
hosts
car.
are not always happy about it, but it's
What?
okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Sorry. Um, but yeah, so I mean, in the race car and stuff like that, pressure sores are a huge issue because we're in here for so long and you're strapped down. So we do kind of play and experiment with different things to keep that from happening. And sometimes I'll just loosen my belt and just push up real hard. It just really depends on what we're doing in the thing. And I mean, I've AD'd a couple times out here, and my driver's really good about knowing me and knowing how I sound and like what's kind of going on with me. And I'm really honest with him. I'm not gonna lie and get us both hurt. So I'll be like, hey, dude, we need to pull over. I need you to stand me up for like 60 seconds, just get my blood pressure normal. Pop me back in the car, and we'll get going again. So it's really just about like figuring out what works for you, your body, and like experimenting as much as it's gonna suck. But being religious with those pressure sore reliefs, man, has saved me.
Yeah. And have you gotten an injury at all?
Um, Not since. I mean, I break my fingers all the time, but it is what it is.
Okay, I'll count that as an injury.
So yeah, and that usually comes from wheelchair rugby because I'll be like hitting into people and it's your fingers get smashed, or you'll be pushing really hard on the wheel and it'll just catch and just snap like a little carrot.
And do you feel and like have you just gotten like comfortable with that, or do you feel like more disabled when that happens? Because I know I talk to a lot of people that like get more frustrated when they get hurt.
I mean, in the moment, I get a little mad, and then I kind of yell an obscenity at myself for being so dumb and doing it, and then I just kind of get on with it because like yelling's not gonna fix it, or being mad's not gonna fix it. So
I love it. Okay, what about you, Candy? Have you gotten injured again since your original injury or any scrape? Actually, I feel like you just posted about something like that, no?
Yeah, I have gotten a lot of surface level injuries, a scrape here, a scrape there. I have my legs mostly covered in tattoos except for the part where I keep scraping my knee and we tattoo around it. So I just have a lot of stuff like that. No serious injuries, knock on wood. But like I said, I'm really taking it at a level that I feel comfortable with, and I don't want to push myself too hard and put myself in a situation where I could get seriously hurt. Past my comfort level. It's good maybe to go like a little bit uncomfortable, but like that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense, especially when you're dealing with something where you can go so extreme. I feel like knowing your boundaries and your limitations are probably really important. So do you feel day-to-day pain, like just because of your disability?
I have a little bit of like pain that'll pop up, especially in my left hip. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I medicate for that herbally pretty well. And we have this really cool program in Colorado where you can get on the SCI waiver and you can get free acupuncture, chiropractor, and massage every week.
What?
So I do
Wow.
that and it's preventative care. And before I did that, I used to be in so much pain all the time and like my body would always feel whack. And like since I started doing that, I feel really good.
I love to hear that.
I need
I've been
to
told to get massages a lot, but I'm so nervous to go and like keep on needing it just because they do get pricey too, you know? So that's super amazing program that you're able to go through. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pain is definitely a hard one. And a lot of times when I talk to different girls, they say like it is the pain that holds them back. But unfortunately, I feel like when you have this injury, it's kind of at some point something that you accept. I feel like I accepted, like, I have to live with this pain, but I can't let my pain hold me back. You know, of course, there's a difference between listening to my body and being in pain, or not doing something because of the pain I'm going to be in, because sometimes I can boost it up more, like, I'm not really trying to go do that right now because at the end of the day, might be tired. So I will prevent myself, especially in the beginning of my injury, from trying different things. But I think that it's important to push yourself and make new memories and not let your pain hold you back, because I feel like my disability has taken so much from me and I'm not going to let it take me making new memories as well in that instant, which before I wasn't even leaving the house at all. So I think it's important to do. Okay, let's see who we have over here. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Andrew. Thank you guys for joining. If you guys are joining in the chat, feel free to drop your guys' name. What's up, Ben? What kind of vehicle is Karah in? It looks really cool. Oh, it is really cool. Karah, take it away.
This is a Can-Am X3 Maverick. So kind of see the inside a little bit, maybe.
Oh, I think it's lagging. Oh, there it goes. She's out there on the
That's a non-built one.
And where are you right now?
I am out in Johnson Valley at King of the Hammers. It's a large off-road and rock race, one of the biggest in the world. So we're gonna go win it.
That's super cool. And how long have you been out there for?
This is day 2. We'll be out here for 2 weeks, freezing our butts off and trying to drive fast.
Wow, that's super dope. That's super awesome. We're sending you lots of love. We know you got this. That is super cool. And we thank you again for joining in and taking the time with us. Ben says that's awesome. You know, she's having fun in that. Oh, we know she is. Andrew says, how do you feel about going to inaccessible areas? Example, shows, expos, or cobbled streets. So how has your disability made you feel about the inaccessibility that the world has to offer, and maybe wanting to do stuff where you're literally told you can't reach an area or do that? And how do you feel about going about that? So let's go to Candy.
Yeah, it was rough at first because, that was a new thing I was experiencing. But I learned different resources, cobblestone, my first time to Europe. Oh my gosh. I have a free wheel. And anytime I go to Europe, cobblestone, off-roading, I use my free wheel. And that thing is awesome. And so it comes down to sometimes having the right resources so that you can still do things. Sometimes it comes into planning ahead, making sure that you're going to be somewhere. One of my big things is to make sure that I have an accessible home base when I'm traveling. Because I'm definitely going to go places that are going to be inaccessible, and I'm going to have to figure it out. But I want wherever I'm going to bed at night and that bathroom to be accessible. That's always a big deal for me. And so planning ahead and making sure I have that can make sure that my trip goes well the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that makes me think about something else. So your free will, is that the only attachment that you have to help that make it more easier for you to do that? Or do you change your wheels out, or do you do anything, have any other accessories?
Yeah, I've got some electric wheels on the way actually, because you might be somewhere where there's a lot of pushing and you got to save your arms for other things like lifting yourself into your toys. And so, it's really just I'd say one of my biggest things is to bring a friend, someone who knows how to help you get up the stairs or something like that. That's always really helpful. Learning your rights and, how to get on the plane, and what to ask for at the hotel to make sure that you're getting the right room. Because sometimes they've got the roll-in shower. Sometimes they've got the bathtub with this bar that falls over that, if you're a paraplegic, most likely you can't sit on that. You're going to fall over. You need the back support, especially washing hair or something. So planning is a really big one. And yeah, I like to bring a friend.
So that's great advice. What about you, Karah? What attachments do you have to your wheelchair? Do you have different wheels or anything like that to help you get through the inaccessibility that the world has to offer us?
Not really. I mean, the only modification to my lifted truck is the hand controls. I try to have the least amount of things that can fail possible and just try and make it work from there. But everywhere I go, the ground isn't accessible. I'm not going to ask anybody to pave a hiking trail on the mountain, I'm not going to ask anybody to put floors out in the desert where it's sandy. You make do, you make it work. And again, you do keep a good friends around. I do travel mostly by myself because my fiance works. But when he's with me, it makes life easier.
Yeah, true. I feel you on that. And what about you, Casey?
I have a free wheel as well,
Okay.
and that's a big game changer because where I live is a small little town in Cornwall, and the streets are it's very hilly around here, and yeah, there's lots of cobbles. So a free wheel's been great. I've also got some off-road wheels that I use, and I have a Batek, so a power attachment for the front of it, especially when I'm walking Roxy because she's so heavy. She can just pull me in the wheelchair, but she can't pull me with the other one because it's too heavy.
I love that so much. Yeah, I've seen a lot with the free wheels. You can go pretty fast with those things, huh? I've seen those and the smart drives. They have some cool attachments. So do you guys pay out of pocket for those things, or do you guys go through programs for disabled athletes, or how did you get your free will, Candy?
I got my free will through a High Fives grant. And so I'll usually either try to go through insurance. And if it's not something that insurance will cover, then I'll usually do a sports grant because you've got High Fives, Kelly Brush, Challenge to Athletes Foundation. There's a lot of really great organizations out there that are down to help us get rad.
I love that. We'll make sure to leave some of those stuff in the description as well when I get a chance, because I think those grants are super amazing and they do help a lot of people. I know even if you're in Southern California, the Triumph Foundation will help you get like a hand cycle. There's a couple of different programs out here. So if you're interested in something like that, make sure you reach out so we can send you some organizations. Let's see. Hello, I'm Rosa. Hi, Rosa. Hi, Quadrad. I'm from Southern California, L2, L5 para, injured 8 months ago by a reckless driver. Oh, wow, you're super new. I am happy to have found this group of women. So much to still learn. Thank you. I'm so happy that you found us too. This is what it's all about and the beauty. I think that you should definitely send me a message on Instagram so that we can reach out more. I love connecting in the community. I feel like this injury makes us family. Honestly, I have a special heart in my I have a special place in my heart for anybody who's disabled and going through this life. My face was all frozen right there, you guys. But make sure that you reach out to any one of these lovely girls. I'm sure that they feel the same way that I feel about the community aspect of it and bringing new people in, especially if you are interested about these things. If not, we have hundreds of other videos on our channels with different topics and different people thriving inside of their life, inside of their career options. So make sure to check those out too. Thank you for being with us, Rosa. And thank you, Ben, for your sticker. We appreciate you always coming through. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. So, before I do that, Karah, do you know of any other grant organization places besides the ones that Candy mentioned? Oh, is she muted? Maybe she's doing something. It looks like she's doing something. We'll go back. Oh.
Neighbor turns his music on super loud, and I know that it's copyrighted, so I'm trying to get it turned down so you don't get your video pulled.
No worries. Thank you so much.
No, you're good. But I don't. They're the ones that I use are usually military-based organizations. So it's the Semper Fi Fund. It's the I use Warfighter Made. Is one of the guys that I race with. Oscar Mike Foundation is a great resource for people who are veterans, disabled, newly injured, coming out with PTSD, whatever your disability may be. The move is to help you get up and on the move again. So, those are.
Yeah, I love that. Those sound like beautiful organizations. Okay, so why do you continue to do sports and what does it do for you? So, Casey, what do sports do for you inside of your heart? Why do you continue to go out there after your injury and have the time of your life? What does it do for you mentally and just for your soul?
It's all I've ever known, really, and it just makes me feel alive. So yeah, those few months without it were really hard, and I had those thoughts of, what's the point of going on, and I don't know if I can do this. And getting back to sport, it makes me feel alive. It's everything, really.
Mm-hmm. When you try something new too, do you just feel that adrenaline rush?
Yeah, so when I tried basketball, I was really, really nervous to start it because it was something completely new. But once I got going, I absolutely loved it, and I loved team sport because I've not done team sport for so long since school. So it was really nice to get back into it, and yeah, just like the adrenaline, the endorphins, just being active and competing with other people that also like sport. It's what I've always known.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. What about you, Candy? Why do you continue to go out there and do sports? What does it do for you?
Can I say I feel like myself again? Like I was never like I was always the girl who's going to join the boys in whatever they're doing. I was never going to sit on the sidelines. If someone made me, that I was upset. And so after my injury, that it wasn't, I can't be the girl who sits on the sidelines. I can't do it. It's just not me. And so I had to get back in it. All my friends are doing it. And, when I did, I feel like me again. I feel like I got my life back. And one of the craziest moments for me is the first time I get back on a race start and raced my adaptive luge, and I hear the beeps. They're like beep, 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 you know, and it was just like this whole rush of just like memories and me just all coming back. And you know, it's just when you know that and it's become such a part of you, it's hard to steer away from it.
Mm-hmm. And asking a more personal question, after your injury, did you suffer with mental health at all?
Yeah, for sure. And like when I was getting back into my sport, there weren't that many people doing it adaptive.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, you know, not on an international level, not on like, you know, we didn't see it that much in the US. Like events didn't even have accessible bathrooms. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through a lot of advocacy to make it accessible to myself and others. And, but now, you know, 5 years later, we have a race every year and every event has an accessible bathroom and everybody knows how to get us on the U-Haul or the bus and get us back up the hill. And, you know, it's you got to go through the shit sometimes to get out to the good side on the other right through it.
I agree. I love that. I love that you said that. I think that it's so beautiful because it matters so much in so many other people's journey. Like you being brave can affect so many other people, you know? And so if you have that heart, that fighter to make a difference in this world, don't let this disability shut you up. Don't let it take your voice away. You know, speak louder, demand, you got
Yeah.
this, you know, and you're making a difference, you're making a change. And just because it sucks today doesn't mean that there's not going to be a rainbow tomorrow. Sometimes we just have to hold on for those better days, you know, but they are coming. I know the hard days seem like forever, trust me, but stay strong, and keep pushing. I love that. Okay, so Karah, why do you keep on doing sports? What does it do for you? You going out there and going through this 2 weeks out inside, you know, the desert and going through all this. What does it do for you inside of your heart, emotionally?
Um, so the term that we kind of use for it, we've coined as adrenaline therapy. I wholeheartedly believe that by getting somebody out into an adrenaline based situation that is positive, you can flush out bad chemical memories that are really triggering those PTSD kind of reactions. And I've been watching, you know, my brothers and sisters here get better and better and better every day that they do this. And it works and it's what's keeping me alive.
I love that. That's super beautiful. I've never heard about that before, but it makes so much sense because even afterwards, just those little boosts of adrenaline, it just makes you feel so good. I remember the first time I did rock climbing, and when I got to the top to ring the bell, I almost wanted to cry because of how overwhelmed of a feeling I felt. And I felt like I could almost breathe for the first time, you know? And it seems a little crazy if you haven't experienced it. But I definitely say to experience those different things and to try adaptive sports because that adrenaline rush that you got beforehand, if you were athletic, or even if you weren't, I've seen people that weren't athletic get into disabled sports as well. Give it a try because it's beautiful. Even hand cycling, going through the wind, hand cycling, looking at a view can make your heart feel so happy and the day feel so beautiful. So I would definitely say to give it a try if you haven't.
Um, I
Our
would
last
also want to say,
question. What are you saying, Karen?
sorry, I was
No.
going to say a lot of people don't know it doesn't have to be an adaptive sport for you to be in it. You can go to anything. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can figure out how to get on the court, how to get on the field, it's your game. It is
Mm-hmm.
your playing field, you know. So don't let that word kind of hinder you because you can
Mm-hmm.
show up and play with anybody. You could be
Yeah.
a better kicker than the NFL Patriots. So
Yeah, that
Exactly.
confidence and determination can get you really far. When
Yeah.
you
oh
believe
yeah,
in yourself and when you want something, ooh, that fire right there, you can break barriers with that. It's
Yep.
strong.
I always like to tell people to like it's okay to forge your own path. Like just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean that it won't be done, and you can be the first one to do it.
Yes.
I love
And what
that.
a different mindset. Yes. I love that so much. Okay, so leading on that, which is a great way to go over to this question right here. What would you say to a sporty girl in the hospital right now who is doubting her abilities? So maybe somebody who has been athletic like you guys their whole lives and just got injured or diagnosed and is coming across our videos and thinking, that can't be me. I don't think that I could do sports again because of all my limitations now, or what my body is now failing me to do. Which unfortunately, there is a lot of people that have that doubt in the beginning. As you guys know, it can feel very strong and it can feel never ending. So maybe something that you wanted to hear back then and what you would feel like would have pushed you along faster inside of your journey. And that's kind of what we're looking for. So let's start with Casey.
I suppose just if there, like, where there's a will, there's a way. And when I was in hospital, people mentioned hand cycling, and I just looked at myself and thought, how would I do that in the very early days? So just know that there is a way to do anything. Anything can be adapted, and just go for it. It's waiting for you.
Yes, I love it. Where's our noise, Sean? Put our clapping noise. I'm not in charge of So Candy, what would you say to a newly injured girl inside of the hospital right now watching this video? What would you say to her?
I would tell her to be kind to herself. There's probably a lot going on, and through her head and everything. And the biggest thing is just you can do whatever you want to do, and that's exactly what you should do. But at the same time, be kind to yourself on your journey. Don't feel like you have to do something by a certain time, because it's your journey and you're the one who makes the rules, and you can do it however you want to do it.
Yay, beautiful. Sean, I need another one. Okay, and let's go to Karah. What would you say, or what piece of advice would you have loved to hear?
I think the biggest thing that there's two pieces that I give. One is that you can't control anything in this life except for your attitude and your effort. Mm-hmm. And everything else is not up to you. So that, and then everybody has a mountain. We all have different terrain. So don't judge the person climbing next to you, because you don't know what it looks like for them. And, vice versa. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Let's give our last one. Great. I love it. I feel like this is so powerful. I feel like you guys are such badasses, and the barriers that you have already broken have been amazing. So I can't imagine a couple years down the line. I hope this video reaches the girl that needs to hear it and that can relate to it. And make sure, again, if that is you, reach out to us on social media, find your community to lean on, ask those questions. They're really important. Before we close out, I'd like to give a special thank you to our sponsors. This month, we have our sponsors, Mobius Mobility from iBot. So they have their iBot machine that is super cool wheelchair, and they have tons of different features on it where you can go over things.
Trails in a wheelchair, the iBot allows you to traverse rough terrain. Want to interact at eye level in social settings or shopping? The iBot puts you there. Balance on two wheels with the iBot's iBalance technology.
I took that down a flight of steps.
Climb curves.
Oh wow, was it dope?
Level and get out there.
It was.
Adventure with the iBot. Call Mobius Mobility at 1-833-346-4268. Again, that's 1-833-346-4268.
So that's our iBot commercial. Super cool. All the different things that they're coming out with. I can only imagine down the line. Also, mobility professionals and urology professionals are our sponsors. Do we have a quick little commercial for them, Sean? I believe we do. I'm not really sure. But they are an amazing company. Mobility Professionals helps us with our wheelchairs, and it is run by Dean, who's also inside of a wheelchair. So he's trained his staff to know what.
Grab the door. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. Mobility Professionals is a medical supply company that services the Southern California area. They can help you out with custom wheelchairs, scooters, durable medical equipment, standers, any kind of commode or bathroom equipment, and they also do a lot of technical repair. They have an amazing staff that provides incredible customer service. They will take care of everything for you, for the insurance, doctors, therapists, and all that stuff that just makes your life so much more complicated. They're here to simplify and make things easy. Not only that, but they're also highly active in the local community. They're at a lot of disability events, volunteering, and servicing the community that we all love.
We love them. They have believed into us from the start, so we have lots of love for them. Really appreciate it. And let's see, our end of the show announcements are: I am back every first and third Thursday with our women's show. We have every other Thursday the Rolling Over the Hill show with our Robert and Bobby. And then we have the guys back every single Tuesday for a different show. And we also have Tom doing his gaming shows on Wednesday now. So we're coming up with all kinds of different things for each day of the week. So tune in, turn your notifications on so you do not miss it. Make sure to leave us a like and a comment and subscribe to our channel. We just hit over 10K subscribers. We're so thankful and we appreciate you guys all so much. Thank you for tuning in week after week. I hope you guys all have a great day and live to roll.